welcome to the Accelerating India Leadership Series, where we bring in some of the biggest voices that drive the India digital growth story. Aadhaar is the world's largest biometric identity system developed by the Unique Identification Authority of India, or the UIDAI. It serves as a cornerstone of India's digital governance framework, enabling over a billion residents to access public services through a unique 12-digit identity number linked to their biometric and demographic data. The system has revolutionized public service delivery by reducing leakages in welfare scheme and enabling efficient targeted benefits distribution. Now, Aadhaar's integration with digital platforms like the UPI and the DBT, that's the direct benefit transfer, has further amplified its impact across financial inclusion, healthcare, and even education in some cases. As the managed services application provider, Tata Consultancy Services is responsible for the enhancement and maintenance of UIDAI's entire suite of software applications. This includes mission critical systems that support Aadhaar services across the country. To discuss what is the future of digital public services and how AI and emerging technologies will play a crucial role in making Aadhaar a global success story, we have Sri Bhuvnesh Kumar, CEO of UIDAI, and Tej Bhatla, Head Public Services TCS, on a very special panel to discuss the road forward. Let me start by asking you, Mr. Kumar, what role do you think public-private partnerships have played in the evolution of the Unique Identification Authority of India and Aadhaar, and the role it has played on the India digital governance stage?
Over the years, as you all know, this has been the cause for the real digital transformation. And so many activities which we today call about the digital public infrastructure have been possible because of the 1.4 billion Aadhaars which have been generated. And this could not have been possible purely in-house by the government. And that is where the public-private partnership role becomes extremely important. This has been a proven model, and over the years, we have seen the learnings of the government in the regulation, lawmaking, and administration, coupled with the knowledge of the private sector in terms of digital technologies and elsewhere. The public-private partnership models have delivered very successfully, and these have been wonderful initiatives.
But when you talk about the scale and the interconnectedness of how the transformation has actually happened, tell us a little bit about how you feel Aadhaar has transformed public service delivery to actually bring in efficiency in, for instance, welfare schemes, if you look at it.
Yes. So, I mean, if you look at the scale, 1.4 billion Aadhaars have been generated till now. The cost of generating one Aadhaar has been about $1.2, which is roughly 100 rupees. And that calculated will come to about $1.8 billion being spent. And at the same time, the direct benefit transfer schemes, till now, the calculation is that we have been able to save about $45 billion. So it's about 25x returns on the investment which has been made. And the main reason for this has been the authentication process, through which the duplicates could be removed, the people who were ghosts could be removed, and the actual service delivery could happen to the genuine candidates.
Let me bring Tej into the conversation as well. Tej, tell me a little bit about what the role and the partnership has been like, and how that evolution is actually going to happen, as Digital India steps into the next decade. And, people are calling it decade now.
Digital identity or Aadhaar, right, I think is the most fundamental DPI, which is playing a significant role in promulgation of other DPIs for payments, for healthcare, financial inclusion. Therefore, UIDI plays a very important role in nation building. And IT and technology plays a pivotal role in UIDI. And therefore, we are very proud to have been a partner in UIDI's digitalization and AI journey since 2021. Um, Along with UIDI team, we take care of enrollment as well as authentication applications at UIDI, including the biometric systems. And over the last 4 years, we have delivered quite a few successful enhancements and our BSP solution, the biometric solution, is delivering excellent results in a competitive environment. So we have been a very significant and important partner for UIDI in our journey so far. From a future perspective, as more and more AI use cases come to the forefront in enrollment, authentication, fraud prevention areas, etc., we see our partnership becoming stronger. Uh, Apart from keeping the systems running efficiently, we are committed to, keep delivering to UIDI's annual strategic goals. That's how we see the partnership growing in the future.
So let me pose the same question to Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar, what have your learnings been in this journey? And as things go forward, how do you think the partnership can evolve, and how can TCS and UIDAI together contribute to the accelerating journey that the country has been on when it comes to digital inclusion?
So the first thing is, as you know, the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has been talking about the Make India in India initiative and also the Atmanirbhar initiatives. It's a proud privilege to have TCS working alongside UIDI to deliver this kind of a huge project. TCS has been able to help us in moving from the old technologies of the last decade to the latest technologies. And as Mr. Tej has also mentioned, that apart from running the services, we are also building new solutions through the annual strategy goals and the work which is in progress. And we jointly decide every year what new steps are to be taken. And especially with the technology becoming obsolete very fast, it is extremely important to keep pace with the growing technologies and keep it at pace. So UIDI, which was above the technology curve at one point of time, continues to remain there. And thanks to the support from TCS and all other partners and the UIDI team, that we have been able to evolve the system and keep it at the top.
That's a lovely journey. Let me take it from there. When you look at the next coming years, AI is going to play a very important part in the transformation of the country, and that is something that the government has also been actively talking about. So tell us a little bit about how you think AI is going to redefine the roadmap for UIDAI and Aadhaar services going forward.
In my view, I think AI is going to be a complete game changer. I think it's going to be a next revolution. We had the industrial revolution, and then we had the IT revolution, and I think within the IT, AI is going to become a revolution. As far as UIDI is concerned, we see a lot of potential of AI in multiple use cases, not only in the development of the tech, but also from the fraud prevention side. So we see a lot of kinds of frauds happening in the system, whether they are in terms of the documents, they are in terms of biometrics, in terms of enrollments and updates. It is extremely important to maintain the integrity of this DPI, because as you know, Aadhaar is the foundational ID. It is not unlike the other functional IDs. The functional IDs provided are for one particular purpose. Let's say you talk about passport. So one needs a passport because you want to travel abroad. You need a driving license because you want to drive on the roads. Similarly, if you have a government ID that allows you to enter a building, so there is a function associated with each functional ID. But the foundational ID is the basis on which so many other IDs can be built, and the individual's authentication can happen, which ensures the integrity of the individuals. And that is why the database integrity of the UIDI of all the 1.4 billion people which belong to our CIDR and have their Aadhaar generated, it is extremely important that we maintain that integrity.
Okay, that's a great point. Coming on this point, Tej, how do you feel AI and next generation technologies has evolved and changed the entire infrastructure? Tell us a little bit about what role TCS and UIDAI have played in that, and going forward as well. How do you see AI, complementing the entire infrastructure?
In a very generic way, I think we have seen that UIDI has always been at the forefront of technology, from technology development or technology revolution, and for right reasons. As Mr. Kumar mentioned, there are significant opportunities for AI to play a role in the UIDI ecosystem. A few examples of something that we've already kind of done. For example, an AI model was done for age prediction. One of the use cases for preventing fraud, where you see that citizens uh, talking about their age being different than what it should be. So we developed an AI model which would help predict the age of the candidate based on the facial parameters in a photograph or otherwise. So that's been one use case that we have seen for AI implementation. Authentication using face has been another one. While most circumstances, in most of the use cases at UIDI, the traditional biometric like fingerprints have been successfully used for all kind of authentication and enrollment activities. But there are certain situations where facial authentication becomes more relevant. For example, pensioners. Traditionally, they would have to visit a center, a bank or another center to give their liveliness, complete their liveliness check. Using face authentication technologies at UIDI, this can now be done by them sitting at their home. So the AI is already showing some promising use cases in UIDI. uh, the speed and accuracy of our biometric solution has been world class and compliant with highest global standards. Uh, but as we move forward, I think many more examples would come forward, and as we discussed earlier, in the form of annual strategic goals, where other areas, which are the other areas where AI can play a role. Definitely, it is on the cards.
Mr. Kumar, I want to talk about this one very important point that you talked about data privacy and security. It's constantly evolving and it's a massive digital infrastructure. Tell us a little bit about how UIDAI has consistently ensured data privacy and security, and why is that sort of the paramount bedrock of most of the services and in a real time and daily basis.
See, if you look at the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, it has come in 2023. The Supreme Court held that the right to privacy is also a part of right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution, and in effect is a fundamental right. So when this law was being framed, the privacy was one of the important concerns which was taken care. In fact, if you look at the new privacy laws which have evolved globally and within India also, then Aadhaar is actually over compliant. The whole architecture of Aadhaar is based on the principles of data minimization. I'm sure you would be aware, and if not, I must say it here, that we capture minimal attributes. And by attributes, I mean the three attributes of the face, the iris, and the 10 fingers. So these are the three biometrics, of which the fingerprints and iris are known as the core biometrics. And then we have the four demographic details, where you have the name, you have the date of birth, you have the gender, and also the address. And apart from that, mobile and email are optional. And that's all. Only the 9 fields are captured. So this is basically data minimization. And the whole architecture works only on this. Contrary to common belief, there are no columns for mother's name, father's name. There is no column for religion, race, caste, any of those. The person's identity, unique identity, is based on the core biometrics. And if the core biometrics along with the demographics are put together, that gives a unique identity. We have been following the principles of security by design, And that's where TCS has been a very, very important partner, valued partner in the sense, because we have these DevSec operations, and then we have the security protocols completely maintained. And outside of UIDI also, we have the ecosystem partners, which are known as the Aadhaar Authentication Service Agency, and then authentication user agencies, and the KYC user agencies. There also, the UIDI instructions and directions to these entities are to ensure privacy and security by design itself, and we expect the CISOs to function. We also expect the Aadhaar data vault wherever the entities are trying to store the Aadhaar number. And that's one of the reasons why UIDR Central IDs Repository, in short the CIDR, have never been breached since its existence. So that's the value of privacy and security in the whole architecture, and that's where the trust comes from.
Well, really well said, Mr. Kumar. Trust is, the key is paramount across the board. Tej, you've been, watcher, participant, stalwart of the IT sector, especially for public services. Tell us a little bit about the role that AI, next gen technologies will play in security coming forward, and what are the kind of challenges that may come now with technology evolving almost on a daily, if not an hourly basis?
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting
So,
question, actually.
so maybe my
Please, Kumar,
perspective,
whatever
and
is your
Mr.
perspective.
Kumar,
I'm sure
feel free
Tej
to
is
add.
going to answer. Yeah, I think
So
I'll
yeah,
add to that
feel
question,
free to add.
and then rest you can
So
answer. See, on one side, we are talking about AI for security, but at the
Yeah.
same time, there are concerns, security concerns for AI. So I think while you are answering this question, you may add my question to that.
oh, definitely, definitely, yeah. So, so first of all, I think, Kritika, important to note that digitalization is end goal of being both ease of living and ease of doing business, right? As we as we move forward, our growth in the economy from $4 trillion to 30 trillion we complete 100 years of our independence. I think IT, digitalization, AI, all of these are going to play very important role, right? And taking that into consideration, you also saw that in the accelerating event, India event that we had on 24th April, TCS CEO explicitly reaffirmed our commitment to India as a market, and that's where the whole context of technology playing an important role as in the economy comes very, very critical. Uh, Concerns around AI, from a, I think we need to look at it from all perspectives, right? From a government perspective, of course, there are technical concerns around data security, data sovereignty, operational control, etc. I think that's where something like our sovereign secure cloud can play an important role, right? Then there are social aspects. I think Mr. Kumar was probably alluding towards that, right? Would digitalization create a digital divide in the society, right? So we need to make sure that systems are designed in such a way that they promote inclusiveness in access, and access to internet needs to be democratized. I think we have played a significant role here, and the internet is both easily accessible and very affordable, right? But what we need to do going forward is to ensure that content that is there, the security of the content is paramount. Content should be available in diverse languages, as being a diverse country. So that those are the perspectives from a government perspective. Of course, Mr. Kumar gave very detailed perspective on data security and DPDP Act playing an important role. Uh, from a citizen perspective, I think the concerns are really valid, because every day we hear stories uh, about let's say uh, threat actors, playing different kind of games with citizens' data for their own personal benefit, or or otherwise, right? So citizens are truly concerned about, would my personal data be safe? Could it get compromised and land in the hands of perpetrators of cybercrime? Right. I think that's where DPDP Act is going to play a very, very important role. There are obviously significant, stringent measures, both from a data fiduciary perspective as well as from a data processor perspective, as to what all needs to be done to keep the data secure and safe. uh, AI, of course, kind of, uh, if you look at the, with a negative lens, right? AI is only going to kind of, let's say, make this problem even more wider, even more significant. Therefore, making sure that whenever we are using AI, we make sure that the data on which the models are trained is safe, secure, suitable for India, and demographics in India. Uh, we need to make sure that the algorithms that we use, we build sufficient guardrails to make sure that the results that are being thrown by AI engine are validated and, tested in details, to make sure that there are no unexpected results or unexpected outcomes being thrown by AI. I think there are, as we do these experiments, both in generating code and in processing the data, we are seeing that, there are situations where things or results become unpredictable. So you have to make sure that you fine tune the models, and, be it security, be it data related, uh, to ensure that the guardrails uh, are sufficiently well placed to keep the data secure, safe, and as expected by the algorithm.
So every day there's a new opportunity, every day there's a new challenge as well. Mr. Kumar, you've seen Aadhaar and UIDAI through several different phases. How would you take some of the lessons that you have learned, even in working with the entire partnership ecosystem, right? How would you take some of those lessons and apply it to large scale digital governance programs that the country has been pioneering, even on the global stage for that matter?
So the important thing is, when you talk about the privacy laws, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So in legal terms, it may sound like protection of personal data, but effectively, I look at it actually as a cybersecurity provision. Because what is the impact if somebody does not follow the law? That means there is a data breach, and then the data principal can go to the data protection board, and data protection finds that enough security measures were not put in, because of which breach happened, and the penalties will be imposed. So that actually means this law pushes the organization to adopt cyber secure measures. So if you adopt cyber secure measure, you automatically ensure data privacy, and it applies to the whole organization and business of the organization. Becoming cyber secure ensures privacy of the individuals. And that's why this law in effect actually is a cyber security law. And what UIDA has been following over the years is these secure practices, and the technology architecture which is ahead of the curve. So, in my opinion, when we are talking about very large scale projects, the technology architecture should be such, and the technology adoption should be such that you are at the top of the curve while you are adopting this technology, and you bring in best of the partners to leverage that, and at the same time you maintain cybersecurity in such a way and win the trust of all the stakeholders into the system. And then whatever you deliver will be widely accepted. What has happened with Aadhaar today? In fact, Aadhaar is used for many such things by various entities for which it is not supposed to be the proof of. People are using Aadhaar for proof of date of birth. People are using Aadhaar for proof of address. while Aadhaar is not supposed to be proof of that. It is the trust in Aadhaar that has motivated so many stakeholders to actually use it. On the other hand, Aadhaar is only and only a proof of one's identity through the biometric means. And that's where, and Ms. Bhatla was already mentioning about the face authentication, which has actually proved to be a game changer. The demographic authentication is one of the weakest. You match only the names, etc. On the other hand, when you go to mobile OTP, there is a risk somebody can actually get hold of your device, and your total privacy and your financial transaction can get compromised, because the mobile and Aadhaar number being available can play havoc. Then coming to the biometric authentication, there is a lot of challenge there, because the people who work hard in through manual labor, and in old age, when the fingerprints go missing, it becomes difficult, the success goes down. And that's where the face authentication becomes essential, and it can be done remotely. Moreover, it can be done from your own device, like a smart mobile or tab or anything. It doesn't really require a specific device. And this is the kind of intervention that you build into the systems. And when you bring these kind of things, that brings the confidence in the whole system, and that's how it grows. So the learnings from UIDI over the years are that adopt the best of the technology, bring the best of the partners, then bring such intervention which make the confidence and the trust stronger, adopt cybersecurity measures. So this is, I think, in nutshell, I would like to say.
Let's head into the future then. Tej, when you look at the future of data governance and digital governance in the country, how do you feel India is going to pioneer the next global tech revolution? What are the areas do you think will be the next big shifts when it comes to digital sovereignty, digital governance?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think we've already established ourselves as an IT destination for the world, right? I think it used to be the offshoring destination, I think, but now I think more and more, I think we are the IT destination, given that the amount of innovation that is happening in India. In many areas, it is a frugal and innovation, like in case of Aadhaar, for example, right? I think the amount of innovation that is happening in India in the technology center is tremendous, right? Um Look at, I think maybe 10 or 15 years ago, the number of unicorns or startups in India used to be very minimal, probably about 1,000 or number. But today we have, 150,000 plus startups in India, more than 120 unicorns, right? So that, I think, sets the stage for us. Our vision of becoming a $30 trillion economy by 2047, and I think by all means, I'm sure, if not more, at least one fifth of that should be coming from digital economy. I think that's the goal that all of us as a in the nation need to work towards, right? Uh, the technologies which are going to play important role, I think cloud definitely is one such technology. Of course, uh, when we speak to our customers, particularly in the government sector, we do hear concerns about data security, data sovereignty, residence within the geographical boundaries of the country, having full sovereign control on the operations that are being executed on the cloud. So, right. So the solutions there are only either private cloud, like what UIDI has done, or sovereign cloud. TCS Secure Sovereign Cloud could be one option. So that's one technology that I believe is going to play an important role. Uh, then you have rapid application development, right? I think there are still many areas where the scope for digitalization is much more, right? A lot more can be done than what has already been done. So developing application faster, would be another area of technology that would play a role going forward. TCS DigiVolt is one solution, but there are obviously a lot of AI tools coming up in the market for faster generation of codes based on specs, based on prompts, etc. I think we are working on some of those technologies to see how we can deliver applications faster for our customers. Uh, the security is obviously going to be fundamental. I think as more and more people start using technologies, start using applications, obviously we have to be concerned about one, that the data does not get compromised, and two, that the systems are easy to use. The people or the citizens are given sufficient information to make sure that they are able to use systems securely, and don't fall prey to threat actors when more and more applications become accessible, right? In all the three areas, whether it is the cloud, whether it is rapid application development or security, AI is definitely going to play a wider role, a more and more prominent role as we move forward. So I think as a country, we are well placed in terms of having the right kind of talent available in the country, and there are obviously ecosystems which are coming into play now for more and more people to start using AI. We have all the right technologies available to build our own SLMs, for specific areas, rather than relying entirely on LLMs, and LLMs tested in the more global environment. So create models well suited to our environment, specific business problems. I think those are the areas where we would see a lot of investments and a lot of innovation happening as we move forward. So I think all technologies that I highlighted here, are going to be important for playing a role as we move forward to 2047.
Okay, so Mr. Kumar, coming to you and the final word to you, what is your vision when you look at the road forward and India on the global stage? We've crossed Japan when it comes to being the largest economy. What role do you think Digital India and digital governance and programs like what the UIDAI has pioneered, what role will those play in putting India on that stage where we are perhaps sometime into the future the world's largest economy?
The journey of Digital India over the last 1 decade, then we can visualize the growth that is happening in this sector. Uh, IT, IT enabled and electronics put together today contributes about roughly 10% of the economy of the country. And if you go by the sectors who contributes, one of the largest. The goal has been to actually make contribution of digital economy to about 20% by the time we reach about $5 trillion in terms of the total size of the economy. By that time, the contribution which should come from the digital economy should be about $1 trillion, and which should happen, say, next 2 to 3 years time down the line. The growth can be seen. What is happening today, especially in the electronics, it is growing at about 30-35%, especially now with the semiconductor coming to India. I think this growth is going to be even faster. The value addition in India is going to be faster, and the adoption of these technologies is going to scale up. So if we have the semiconductor fabrication in India, so we are going to see a growth in the electronic system design and manufacturing. The fabless design is set to grow. There are programs which are centered around that. And once these are available, along with the AI and the IT enabled services, which already is the core and the heart of the Indian IT all across the globe, when it is applied to various sectors, I think we have seen a revolution in the fintech. The next one, in my opinion, are going to be the edutech, then health tech, and agri-tech. So these three, I see kind of growth happening in these sectors in immediate future, and that is going to really scale up. And kind of the size of the consumer market India has, with so many people, the adoption in these sectors can really propel the economy. And at the same time, the fourth component, if I can add to that, if the MSMEs start consuming IT, which we saw especially during the COVID, but there has been a little bit of stagnation after that. But I definitely see AI reaching out to the MSMEs, and there are efforts with the programs like India AI Mission. And once it percolates, I think it is going to set in motion a very, very positive cycle, which is going to uplift the economy. And definitely, we are likely to see that we reach the 5 trillion mark of the overall economy and the 1 trillion mark in the digital economy sooner than later.
Wow. On that amazing note, thank you so much, Mr. Kumar, for setting that vision, something that all of us hold very, very dear to our hearts. Thank you for taking us through that very interesting conversation. Thank you so much, Tej, for throwing light on the role of emerging technology and the road forward that public private partnerships can play at scale. Thank you, gentlemen, for this lovely conversation. It was a pleasure hosting the two of you. With that, it's a wrap on this very special conversation. Thank you so much for staying with us from all of us. Have a good day.